In a world of podcasts, one rises in the night to destroy them all. The elder god in an ocean of noise, the Cthulhu of the airwaves. This is Spoiler Country.
Hey, you're back. I don't know why, but you're here.
I never left.
Hey, on Spoilerverse. Spoilerverse is the network. We're at Spoiler Country, and welcome back. I'm Kenric Regan, of course, and that right there is Mr. Horsley. And today on the show, we're going to talk Obi-Wan. Now, we tried to do this earlier.
We tried. We failed. We have a blooper episode, which we'll release sometime down the line. But yeah,
dogs and technology don't mix.
Yeah, and
dogs and podcasting don't always mix, unless you're a dog show.
We're not a dog show yet. We'll hit that market in a year or two.
Yeah, we could be. We both got enough.
Yeah, and I've actually watched the whole show now. So last time I recorded, I only watched half of it.
Right. So you watched all 6.
Yep, I watched the last. So I watched one more last night, then I watched the last 2 today.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
And what was your overall? Let's get the overall feeling of it out of the way first, because that's,
overall, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think Ewan McGregor is great as Obi-Wan. I liked his interpretation. The girl who played little Leia was awesome.
Leia,
yeah. You'll get that joke when you hear the blooper episode. Leia was great.
Yeah, she's very precocious.
Yeah. I thought Hayden Christensen did a great job as Vader. I thought I had a lot of fun with it. I mean,
he didn't have to do a lot in this one.
No.
You know what I mean? We saw a lot of Vader, but Vader is just all about the look and the sound and James Earl Jones.
Yeah, but the flashback scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which James Earl Jones is 91 years old.
I know, and still sounds amazing.
And still sounds like Darth Vader.
I know. I hope he never dies.
Yeah. Especially they're going to do a Darth Vader TV show. He's got to stick around for that, right?
Yeah. So
just whoever you got to pray to say, don't take Vader from us.
Don't take Vader.
No, I thought it was a good show.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I have the one gripe that we talked about. But okay, I'm pretend we didn't record last night about that because someone heard it. My main gripe for the first 3 episodes was that the third sister was super generic.
Yeah,
he was like, you're a generic Bond villain. That was
the actress who plays her, or the actor who plays her. Great.
Oh yeah, fantastic job.
Yeah,
overall.
She did a fantastic job for the material she was given.
It just felt the first 3 episodes very much. I'll say first 3.5 episodes felt very.
Dude, I was
super fake.
Zinging everything she was going to do. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I even called it when she killed. Spoilers through this whole thing. So if you haven't watched Obi-Wan, don't listen to this.
Yeah, or and then go watch it all.
Yeah, get spoiled, then go watch it.
Yeah.
But when she killed the Grand Inquisitor, I was like, oh, now she's going to kill this person. Now she's going to do this. Now she's going to do that.
Killed.
And it was like, oh my God, how cliche can you become?
Oh, I know.
This character.
I know. And it's just like, I mean, they made in the last 3 or last 2.5, they made her character better, but even then it was still, I don't know.
Though, because then, so
I might have missed something. In like the 5th episode.
I liked it. Yeah.
And maybe, what I missed is I don't understand why in the 6th episode she's going after Luke. Like she had that whole conversation with Obi-Wan about the younglings and how she was part of Order 66 and how she was there to get back at Vader. But then why would she go and try and kill Luke? Was it just because Luke was Anakin's son? Is that why I missed the reason for going after Luke?
I think the whole reason is because it's Vader's son.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other reason. And I think she just wanted revenge. And like that guy said, he's like, revenge is is a great motivator to stay alive.
It is.
And that's and remember the Grand Inquisitor says that to her as she's dying on the floor.
Yeah.
And then you see her, I'd like to know how she got off the planet. There was no more ships left.
Or how she survived a lightsaber stab to the chest.
I mean, they almost could have saved that whole part for the 2nd season.
Yeah. You think there'll be a season 2?
So it was supposed to only be 1 season.
Which I can see. That 1 season makes sense with how.
Yeah, but it's had so much fanfare.
Yeah.
And people really pushing for a season 2, that there's a big rumor that they're going to announce a season 2.
What are they going to do in season 2 though? Because season 1 is all about, Leia.
Well, you can do all you want with Obi-Wan all the way up until Luke is 18 and he's only 10. So you got 8 good years. You could literally do 8 seasons and end the series on Luke stepping into the shadow of his cave, and then just end it right there. So don't show Luke, just show a silhouette.
So they've got 8 years to turn Obi-Wan from being 51 to 70. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was he only 7? Was he 70 in the movie? Did they say how old he was?
I don't know, but
because
he's definitely
Luke is 10 because he's twins with Leia, and they said it over and over again. She's 10,
right?
So, and he couldn't have been more than 18, 17 when Star Wars: A New Hope happens.
I don't know. I don't
know how old he is. I mean, I'm just guessing. No, not more than 21.
Let's see. If I hear my loud ass keyboard typing. How old was Luke? Luke was 19 years old.
Okay.
So
9 years. That'll put him 60. That's about right. I mean, because when we were little kids and you see Obi-Wan for this time, you'd think he's really old.
Let's see. How old was Obi-Wan in New Hope?
Oh, did we just devise a plot hole?
Let's see. Here we go.
Or people will explain it away.
I know. Well, we should. This is the whole thing about us doing research before we do shows, but we don't do that.
Well, we just thought of the question. That's the problem. It comes up while we're discussing the show.
Right. Now I was trying to read fast. Of course, these things can't just freaking say how old he was. I have to read through the whole article. I don't know. 60 something.
Well, how old was Obi-Wan in Star Wars: A New Hope? 57.
Is that how it was?
Yep. Obi-Wan Kenobi is introduced in the original Star Wars film, living as a 57-year-old hermit under the name of Ben Kenobi in the planet Tatooine. But Alec Guinness looked 70.
Yeah, Alec Guinness was old as fuck looking. But yeah, that makes sense because then, because Ewan McGregor's is 51 right now, actually in real life. So but like, I'm sorry, even then, 57 did not look that old. No, and Ewan McGregor at 51 still looks young.
But you know what? All the directors, all the people working on it were like in their late 20s, early 30s. So for them, 57 was old.
Right. He was this ancient man. Oh my God, he's so old.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting. So that means
timelines line up pretty much.
Yeah. Obi-Wan then is what? 58 or 48. He's my age.
Yeah. It's your age. You are Obi-Wan.
I am Obi-Wan.
Congrats.
That is weird as all get out.
Can you do all the flips?
You know what I was just thinking? You know how we'll get back to Obi-Wan, but I just thought of this. I just thought.
Tangent.
You know how people get freaked out about Marvel movies or DC movies if it's not what they grew up with?
Yeah.
And they get freaked out by the changes and everything. I think I know why that is, though.
Why?
I don't think it's all some of the political issues that people have. People my age and even your age yearned for an X-Men or Spider-Man movie back in the day. Yeah, for me, that's the 80s. I mean, you kind of got the X-Men movie in the 90s. The first one was great, but we yearned for a Spider-Man movie. We yearned for an X-Men movie. Never going to happen. You know what I mean? And that was my age group, right? It would have been made for my age. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm waiting and you spend all this money and you're this huge fan. And then 30 years later, it finally happens and you're told, well, it's not made for you. I've been fucking waiting 30 years for it to be made for me. And now you're just going to tell me it's not made for you?
Right. I get what you're saying. But to contrast that, the people reading it now is who it's made for.
Yeah,
not the people
but I don't care about that, dude.
I know you don't care.
Because to me, it's like I have spent money after money for 30 years.
So have they.
No, they have not.
You don't read. You don't bullshit. You did not buy comic books for X-Men for 30 years.
No,
you stopped. You stopped at a certain point.
But I did love it for 30 years. And the point is, dude, is there's a value
I've loved this one thing for 30 years, but I haven't touched it or read it in 20, but I make it how I remember it. That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does. No, I'm not saying that. You're like totally conflating what I'm saying. You're over conflating what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. I get 100% what you're saying. I'm just saying
because you're arguing.
They're making, and I'm just saying the reason why they're doing that is because they're making it for the fans now.
Oh, I understand. No, dude, I understand. You have to make it for the fans now. That's going to spend the money and do all that stuff. I get it. My point is, I understand why some of the people my age are freaking screaming at the wind because they're just so. Because they have been waiting a very long time. Whether and dude, yeah, you grow up and you start to not read those as much as you were, but also because after so many years, it's never going to happen. That's your mindset, right? Like Spider-Man was supposed to be made back like in the 80s, and they had so many licensing issues with everything that was going on, and it was always this, oh, it's coming out. No, it's not. Oh, it's coming out.
Spider-Man. They made a TV show and movies in the 70s of Spider-Man.
Yeah, they sure did.
So
and it was sure bad.
Well, that's what your generation got.
And it wasn't the special effects and the way that they could do it. Even in the late 80s, they could do some cool shit. You know what I mean? And in the early 90s, they could do. I mean, Batman was what looked great. Tim Burton did some cool shit. I'm just saying, I can understand.
And Tim Burton changed a lot of shit too.
Yeah, when you love something for that amount of time, and then. And you were waiting, and you know what I mean? And it kind of sucks to have something pass you by and be told, oh, well, that's not made for you. But it's like, dude, I've been fucking waiting forever. I've been keeping a flame for that shit for a long time. And a lot of those comic books survived because of the shit that, us, I'm including you, kept reading and kept buying things. Maybe not us individually, but the generations that we're from. A lot of people kept doing that. Matter of fact, someone like Kevin Feige, who is my age, had a big torch, and he's the reason that we do see it, and he's done a fantastic job. So I don't want anything to be taken away. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can understand the vitriol that some of these people have for it.
I can.
It's like they just want what they originally read, and it's never going to happen. But I mean,
and it never happens, even if they make the movie when it comes out.
Oh no, dude, they'll always find something.
Yeah.
Fanboys are toxic.
I understand being irritated or frustrated that it's not exactly what you wanted, but that doesn't excuse everybody being fucking dickheads about it.
Right.
Like, and the whole thing is not for you. That's fine. I mean, if it's not what you wanted to see, what you had 30 years ago, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to like it.
But that's even worse. Well, you don't have to watch it. Now you're telling me I can't even
no, you can go enjoy it if you want. You can bitch all you want. Just nobody cares. Nobody cares.
What's that? What? No, of course nobody cares, dude.
Yeah.
Of course nobody cares. Nobody care. No one would care if they made the movie that certain people want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The problem is if they made. Actually, I'm kind of good with the movies that they have now and everything.
Well, except for the last 10 years of DC movies, for the most part. I'm not happy with them.
I kind of liked. I didn't mind them at all. I still don't mind them. I honestly don't understand why people hate them so much. It's just like I don't get it. I mean, yeah, some things were changed, but they've changed a lot of things in the Marvel stuff too. They just did better writing. It's not about it. I don't want to go into a tangent on this, but it's not about them changing things. It's about them not understanding what they're doing with the changes. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a huge difference. You can make changes to characters and stories. That's fine. But if you don't understand the story and character you're making changes to, your changes aren't going to make sense. Right. You can say, like Robert does, different universe, different interpretation, all you want, but a good interpretation still respects the source material of what it's fucking coming from, Yeah, 100%. And a lot of those movies just throw it out the window. Just so bringing that around, do you think Obi-Wan? That was me. I have a thing. My Alexa went off. Oh, watching Obi-Wan now, did they hit the nostalgia feel for Obi-Wan? Did it feel like you're watching an Obi-Wan show that Star Wars, the original trilogy? Because I always think of it like the original set. And this is set in the original time, you know what I mean? this is going on. This is like the onset of the Skywalker chapters, or beginning the middle of the Skywalker chapter.
Well, yeah, this is between episode 3 and 4. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just curious. Do you think they hit those marks, and did they do it? What did they do right? What did they do wrong? Let's ask that.
I think that, I mean, for me, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I like Star Wars, but I've only, as I've said before, you know, I watched Star Wars with my dad when I was 8.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it again until college.
Lightsabers are cool.
Made me. Yeah, lightsabers are cool, but I just wasn't a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, the Force is telekinesis. Let's get out of here.
It's midichlorians in your body. It's fine. Little aliens. But
so weird.
Yeah. I mean, I like Star Wars. I enjoy it. I've seen all the movies except for Solo. I still haven't watched Solo yet for some reason. And
I liked Solo. It was fun.
Yeah, Jacob liked it too, and I've been meaning to watch it. I just haven't sat down and watched it. And I will.
It's not Harrison Ford, so it's hard.
Yeah. Well, it can't be. He's too old.
Yeah.
But and I liked the original trilogy, right? This is 4, 5, and 6. They're fun. I'll be the brunt of the negative feedback on this episode. Is I don't think they're as great as people say they are, but they're fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the prequels 1, 2, and 3 for what they were. I mean, I enjoyed, and I'll just say this real quick: anybody alive that saw those movies in theaters 1, 2, and 3 had none of the complaints the last 15 years people have had.
I think the third one they did. I remember the third one, people not really enjoying. Like it was like by the time they got to Hayden Christensen, is that his name?
That was episode 2, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 and 3. And the complaint was he was a very rigid actor.
But that's not him though. That's Lucas directing him.
No, that's him because you've watched other movies with him and he plays the exact same way.
Well, nothing I've ever seen him in. He's been fantastic.
You're kidding me, dude. The one where they can teleport anywhere. Terrible.
I didn't see
He's
that.
Terrible in it.
I didn't see that movie.
What are you talking about? You didn't see that movie. It was like the next big thing he did after Star Wars.
What was it?
What the fuck? I don't even know the name of it anymore. It's where they can teleport everywhere.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Dude, every movie I have seen him in, he might be the greatest, coolest guy in the world. I don't know. But he's a very rigid actor. It's like he can't show emotion very well. His line delivery is always monotone. It's just like, it's bad, dude. It's bad.
Jumper. You know what,
Jumper. You saw that.
I never saw Jumper.
Oh my God. Well, it's bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. And I remember when he came on the screen, that was everybody that I knew and was like complaining about. It's like, oh my God, this guy is.
No, they did too. I remember that as well. But like
the first one was a huge hit though.
It was, but everybody shits on the first one now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody shits on Phantom Menace hardcore.
It's Jar Jar Binks, I think.
Well, it's Jar Jar. It's the fact that it's made for kids. Shocker. All of Star Wars is made for kids.
For kids. Yeah. That's the thing that drives me nuts. It's like the people that complain about things. It's like, dude, when you saw Star Wars, you were 8, 10 years old.
Yeah.
If you saw Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3 when you're 8, 10 years old, you would have loved them.
That's what they're about.
Yeah. I know. And that's the thing. I was in my late 20s when those came out, and I understood that. I was like, I'm watching them. I enjoyed them for what they were. And I knew that 8-year-old me would have loved it.
I was 17 when episode 1 came out in 99, and I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I thought it was a little juvenile, but I knew what I was watching, you know?
Yeah.
And
is Obi-Wan better than the 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
On par with 4, 5, 6?
Well, I think
just below it.
I think 4, 5, and 6 are on par with 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, you see them as the same.
As far as tone goes, I mean, they're overall better movies because
I thought 1 and 2. It's like Empire to me is the best Star Wars movie, show, anything, hands down. Nothing has ever come close to me than Empire. It's a shocker because, George Lucas didn't direct it.
So the Empire and Jedi, George Lucas did not direct. Those are the best 2 Star Wars films from that era.
Oh, I thought New Hope was better than Jedi. The Ewoks are just corny.
Wait, did he only directed one of those movies?
Yeah, he did New Hope.
Did he do New Hope?
Yeah. I don't know about Jedi.
He didn't do, he only directed one of the 3.
All the great lines, all the great moments come from Empire.
Mm-hmm. Empire is a great movie.
And like I haven't seen anything, but I thought Obi-Wan did do a really good. I mean, Ewan McGregor is so good in everything he does.
Yeah, it's great. And what's cool about what I liked about Obi-Wan is it's to go back to the question of like, does it fit into like the universe? It really does. I think it does a good job of like capturing Obi-Wan where he's at after episode 3.
Are they getting the tone right though? The beats of how those shows and those movies should go?
I think so. Yeah. It's the same thing with The Mandalorian and stuff like that. Is like if these would have come out after episode 3, they wouldn't have worked because cinematically, storytelling has evolved since 2010, 2007, whenever those movies came out, right?
Right.
Like, and the way we tell miniseries stories and shows, there's been a huge shift in the last 10 years of movies to miniseries, right?
Right.
Because you can tell more in 8 episodes than you can in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Even though really Obi-Wan is only 4.5 hours long, if you add them all up.
Right.
It's about 4 hours and 40 minutes long. It's like 2 movies.
Right. Well, it's 6 episodes, which is short.
Yeah. But done episodically like that, it allows you to have easier story beats, easier consumable, and tell more story.
I want more of that.
I love that more than actually going to see a movie. Because I think a lot of times.
Like I look at the Marvel stuff. Like I watched when I watched the Doctor Strange, I was like, I would have preferred this to be a show.
Yeah, because
like 10 episodes long, they could have really, really delved into some things.
They try and cram too much into 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
and it's just it's too much. But
go ahead.
That's why I love the DisneyPlus shows for Marvel. Those because you get to breathe. The stories get to breathe. Right, they're not just shoved into 2 hours. Like I loved Spider-Man No Way Home. Right. It was really good. There's a lot going on, but it was a long movie, right?
Yeah.
They had a lot to tell there, as opposed to other movies that are long that drag, right? And we'll talk about those later. But one thing I really liked about Obi-Wan, which I think made it work so well, is all 6 episodes have the same director, which doesn't always happen in TV. Even in miniseries, it'll have like multiple directors,
right? But
Deborah Chow did all 6 episodes.
That's awesome.
That allows the show to have the same feel because it's the same direction for all of them, and I think she did a great job. It was my real only complaint with Obi-Wan is I want more of it, but I understand the story. The story they told was told well in 6 episodes.
It's pretty complete.
It's pretty complete, and I like the fact that Vader's involved in it. And while he is a big part of the story, it was still minimized where it didn't overtake Obi-Wan's story. You know. And the episode 6 fight scene between Obi-Wan and Vader was freaking cool.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of Vader was fun. Some of the little force moves that he was doing with his hand made me laugh. Cool. Because you never really see him. You see him use it in the Star Wars movies, but you don't see him use it that much. And to be able to do a full fight against the third sister, just using his hand and not even, was pretty neat. When
Obi-Wan slashed down and broke his helmet open, and then his voice box started changing between Christensen and James Earl Jones. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Who do you think? What character grew the most for you?
I think Obi-Wan grew a lot in this.
Yeah.
Well, I think Obi-Wan and Vader actually both grew in this show.
Right.
I think that Obi-Wan grew from being, he's just watching Luke, just doing one thing, to maybe I've got more that I should take care of and watch and be a part of. And he get to meet Leia, and they had that, and it explains.
Now he has a very intimate relationship with her.
And then Vader grew. I mean, Vader grew he grew down, right? He grew negative, right?
Right.
Not like backwards, but he grew not in a positive way, because he's grown more hatred towards Obi-Wan and towards everything else. And I think it was great because Vader was already a hateful bastard at the beginning when you first saw him, but by the end of the last fight, it's got more hatred.
It's really drilled its way in.
Yeah. But that all being said, I go back to a point that I made in our chat about Vader and the kids. How come he can't find them?
Yeah, I don't know if it's about finding them. I don't think he cares to find them.
Or does Vader know they exist?
Yeah, I think he knows her because he knew she was pregnant, right?
Right, but wasn't he told they died in childbirth, something like that?
Oh, he might have been. I don't remember. You have to go back and watch that movie.
I have to. Robert,
I don't remember.
If Robert, since he's listening, go ahead and message us and tell us the answer to that question. Yeah. My thing is if Vader doesn't know they're dead. Okay, yeah. If Vader doesn't know they're dead, he should be able to find both of them really easily, because Leia went to a senator that he knew.
But they're still good in him, and we know this. Vader's direction and his journey culminates in Return of the Jedi. And he becomes, and there's good, and they say it over and over again. Like there's good in him, and it might be that's why he never goes for his own kids. That he doesn't want to, because if he goes and he gets them and brings them into his world, then he infects them, and he knows that. You know what I mean? Where he can just keep hunting Obi-Wan, ignore those guys, and not bring them into his world, because he knows that that's something to think about.
Yeah.
He's on a path of revenge.
See, now that this whole conversation makes me just really want the Vader standalone series that they're rumored about.
Oh, that would be cool. For me, I thought, so we talked about her with the third sister, and the reason I'm going to bring her up is I thought her arc was done really, really well. I think they did the cliches on purpose to kind of keep you at this point, right? And even though it was cliche, I still enjoyed watching those scenes. You know what I mean?
She really takes a turn in episode 4.
Yeah, when they're trapped and her and Ben have that communication through the wall.
Yep.
And then again, when she captures them, he's like, "You're not bringing me to Vader. I'm bringing him to you."
Yeah,
which I thought was a great scene.
That's a
great. And it was like it made all the change. You're like, oh,
that's
and then
different.
I'll be honest, man. Usually, I'm pretty good at catching twists.
Yeah,
did not see that she was a youngling. Did not even click with me until they said it, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, that makes total sense.
Oh, god dang it.
Yeah, and then it was cool. It was like, I totally get why she's doing what she's doing. She wants to get as close as she can, and she's willing to sacrifice anything to do it. That's why she's so, for lack of a better term, evil. Especially against people to fight.
And then at the end, she goes to assassinate Luke, and then has that conversation with Obi-Wan, and doesn't. Like you see a lot of that.
Everything turns.
It turns on her, and
like she starts to realize she's doing what she's trying to get revenge about. Yeah, and she's, you know what I mean. She was going to interrogate Leia and do all this stuff. I was like, oh my god, I hated that scene.
Oh. But the little girl was fantastic in that scene.
Oh yeah,
she was so great.
Yeah, it was a good show.
I thought they were going to hit her, or like harm her physically, and I was like, "Don't do it! Don't hit her! Don't hit the little girl! Don't hit the little girl!" Not little Leia.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, I don't know. I like the fact that Leia got up into the tunnel and fixed the bay doors open. I thought that was kind of cool. They did a good job on it. I don't know.
They did.
I really like Talia. I thought they did a good job with Talia all the way up until she died. Like, I liked her enough, and they got her emotionally invested enough that you didn't want to see her die.
And then she did.
And that's a good, it was a good death for the story, for the plot line.
Yeah, it's an emotional death because you care. Because I didn't want to see her die at all, but her sacrifice meant something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the holster.
Yeah. The story behind the holster is great. Yeah.
Leia, you're 10. I'm like, give a 10-year-old a blaster.
And then the ending, her outfit at the end, when she put the boots on, the white outfit with the holster and the little buns. I was like, oh, it's so cute.
Oh my god, dude.
What it was.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Is there another show that you can say, maybe give people an understanding of how much you enjoyed or did not enjoy it? You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, it's on.
Compare it to.
I think for me, it's on par with the first season of Mandalorian.
Wow,
I liked Mandalorian a lot. I haven't watched season 2 yet because I just haven't had time or reasons to binge it. But I liked season 1 of Mandalorian a lot, and I kind of feel like this was on par with that. I think it was a fantastic. You think
Disney's being smart doing?
Oh yeah,
these bookends, because these are kind of bookends.
Yeah,
this is before New Hope. Mandalorian's right after Return of the Jedi.
I think if Disney was smart, I think, and it feels like they are going to be doing this. I think they should do a lot more of these miniseries, and then their movies should be like really what they should do. They should make miniseries of all these different characters or things, and then use the movies as like the bookends to the miniseries. Like the miniseries build up to it, and the movie is the big payoff, right?
So Luke was in season 1 of The Mandalorian, right?
No, his cameo was season 2.
Oh,
sure.
Oh,
I don't think I've seen it, but I remember hearing about it.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Yeah, isn't season 3 out?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no. Yeah, dude, you haven't seen that scene with Luke coming in?
I have seen it.
I thought it was the end of season 1.
No, it's season 2, episode 8, right here. It's not season 1. It's season 2, episode 8. I just looked it up.
Oh, it's weird.
Have you watched? Oh, that's a cartoon. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Which one? What is it?
Bad Batch. The other Star Wars.
I started watching. I watched like the first 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff to watch.
There is. There's a
it's
lot
hard to keep
watch.
up, and there's so much Star Wars stuff, and it's hard to watch something that's just one thing.
Right.
Marvel's been doing a pretty good job of keeping things kind of extended out and not having too much at once.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel Star Wars has a lot out at once.
Well, because there's cartoons, there's movies, there's shows like this. I think miniseries is the way to go for storytelling. I think it's a better format than movies.
I think that's what DC should concentrate on.
DC should do HBO Max and do miniseries. And
do miniseries. Like, dude, the start of the Justice League.
Yeah.
What was that movie? What was the book that was the Justice League's in the 50s? Felt like the 50s or 60s.
New Frontier.
Yeah, New Frontier. That would be an amazing miniseries.
It would be. It's an amazing book. There's a cartoon movie which is fantastic as well.
Yeah, they did a good job on it.
Yeah. If they did a live action miniseries, and it would have to be a standalone miniseries because
would they have to update it though? Do you think it'd be okay? I think it would be okay to do it in the 50s. And matter of fact, do all of DC stuff out of the 50s and 60s. Don't bring it into modern times. Keep it, do that retro look and that retro storytelling because people would be like, I think it would infatuate people.
Yeah.
Like Mad Men.
Do like the DC in the Golden Age or Silver Age.
Yeah. I mean, it would, because then you can keep doing the movies with, Harley Quinn and all the weird and the Suicide Squads now, and it doesn't affect. I think it can even be in the same universe if they really wanted it to be. That
actually be cool if they did movies in different timelines in the same universe.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Or miniseries. There's the dogs again. Miniseries, would be great. I just like the episodic format where it's like contained 10 episodes or less. Tell a story. I like that.
Yeah, they could have done that with Marvel, but I don't think it would have took off like it did.
No, Marvel had to start the way it started, but now Marvel can move in, and then they are moving into miniseries and movies.
Yeah, Obi-Wan season 2 should happen, I think.
Yeah, I
don't see any reason not to. I mean, they left it open. It was a nice contained story, but they did leave it open.
Mm-hmm.
And you doesn't have to do anything to do with the Skywalkers.
No, they could do Obi-Wan doing something else.
Yeah. Possible storylines, details teased by a writer. Will Obi-Wan Kenobi air a new bonus episode tonight, June 29th?
That's tomorrow. That'd be cool.
That's where Michael Patterson is living. DisneyPlus Obi-Wan Kenobi has been one of the biggest hits of the year, but will the series be unveiling its 7th episode, or has its run come to an end? This is on BamSmackPow.com. I don't know if that's
I don't know if that's really real or not.
I mean, we have the Spoilerverse.com. We're pretty legit.
I mean, we're legit as shit. We're the best website out there.
This is
BamSmackPow.
Under Fan-Sided, will Obi-Wan Kenobi air a new bonus episode tonight? DisneyPlus Obi-Wan Kenobi has been one of the biggest hits of the year, but will the series be unveiling its 7th episode tonight, or has its run come to an end? Ewan McGregor made his much-anticipated return to the role Obi-Wan Kenobi just a few short weeks ago. Just a few weeks ago. It's like 6 weeks ago.
You're right. I meant that's a few.
Portraying the character in the long-awaited Disney Plus series, he brought Obi-Wan back for an adventure. I'm like, he had.
Oh my god, this is okay. I'm on the same article. I'm stopping you now because I read ahead real quick. This is such a clickbait, stupid fucking article because it's just for clicks. Because you read that, go to the next section. Unfortunately, it will not. It had its series finale. This is the clickiest of clickbait bullshit.
Clickiest of clickbait.
Bamsbackpow.com. Fuck you. Do better. Do better. Do better.
Oh my!
I feel bad for clicking on your website and giving you my hit results there.
Dude, these. This is why we try not to do any kind of news stuff.
No, I don't, because I don't want.
Lucasfilm officially breaks silence on Obi-Wan season 2, and it's on the Stupendous Wave channel.
It's all clickbait bullshit.
Yeah, it's all clickbait. I don't know. Maybe it's legit. I don't know. I shouldn't give them shit.
I mean,
they're trying to do what they need to do.
Do what you got to do, but whatever.
I just think that I gotta get a haircut, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
My hair is out of control.
Well, I think we've said what needs to be said about Obi-Wan tonight.
Obi-Wan. Thumbs up. Fun show. I do hope they do a season 2.
I like Obi-Wan. Give us Obi-2.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan. Give us Obi-2.
Hashtag Obi-2.
Obi-2.
And then if they make a season 3, they can call it Obi-Trice, like the rapper.
Obi-Trice. No game. All right, guys. Thank you for coming along on a journey with us today. If you haven't watched Obi-Wan, go out there. I suggest you watch it. If you have watched it, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Down below.
Hit us up on Twitter, comments, YouTube, whatever.
Maybe subscribe. Maybe hit that little bell icon and
do all the fun stuff.
Do all the fun stuff that comes along with it.
And go to Patreon and give us money too, if you want to. We have one of those.
You know what? I'm not going to say don't do it. It's not.
I mean, you're not going to get anything. We don't do anything with it, but you can give us money.
You know who subscribes to that? I do.
We use Patreon as our little funding to pay for the website every year.
Just for the show. All right, guys. We're pathetic. Come along. We'll talk to you soon.